I want to start tonight by reading a poem that anybody in my situation at one point or another will get, or receive, or read. I am wearing a pair of shoes. They are ugly shoes, uncomfortable shoes. I hate my shoes. Each day I wear them, and each day I wish I had another pair. Some days my shoes hurt so bad that I do not think I can take another step. Yet I continue to wear them. I get funny looks wearing these shoes, and I can tell in others' eyes that they are glad they are my shoes and not theirs. They never talk about my shoes, and to learn how awful my shoes are might make them uncomfortable. To truly understand these shoes, you must walk in them. I now realize that I'm not the only one who wears these shoes. There are many pairs in this world. Some parents ache daily as they try and walk in them. Some have learned how to walk in them so they don't hurt quite as much. Some have worn these shoes so long that days will go by before they think about how they hurt. No parent deserves to wear these shoes, yet because of these shoes, I am a stronger parent. These shoes have given me the strength to face anything, and they have made me who I am. I'm the parent who has a child with cancer, and I will forever walk in these shoes. On November 30th, 2007, I took my then 21-month-old daughter to the IWK emergency room.
Why do you have your hair beside your ears?
To get her checked out, as I thought she may have had pneumonia.
Amy. Good job, Laura. Come on, Laura.
It's retarded.
I'll start again. On November 30th, 2007, I took my then 21-month-old daughter to the IWK emergency room to get her checked out, as I thought she might have had pneumonia. We didn't wait long, and soon enough, we were sitting in a room, chatting with the doctors. A quick feel of her stomach, and they were immediately booking her for an emergency ultrasound and a chest x-ray. At the time, all they had told me that was her liver was possibly enlarged, and they needed to conduct some tests to find a cause. After a few hours, in and out of testing, a group of doctors sat down with my mother and me in that little emergency room and closed the curtain. Little did I know at the time that 4 small words have changed my entire life forever. Your child has cancer. She was diagnosed with a high-risk Wilms tumor or kidney cancer. She underwent a nephrectomy, removing her entire right kidney less than a week after diagnosis. Her tumor weighed 1.5 pounds. She had 6 months of strong chemotherapy, which turned toxic, and she temporarily suffered from neuropathy, losing the function in her hands and feet, having to wear braces on both, and her feet may never recover 100%. She also met some great little friends, many who are no longer with us. One little boy will forever stick out in our minds, nicknamed Baby Josh, as Kaylee likes to call him today. On April 6, 2008, Josh took a sip of water, let out his famous and shortly thereafter earned his angel wings while lying comfortably in the arms of his parents. He was diagnosed on his first birthday and battled acute myelogenous leukemia for 6 months before he passed away, just shy of 18 months.
However, I was no stranger to the childhood cancer world before this experience. My first introduction was not through being a parent of a child with cancer. It started in 2001 and is still carrying on today. My cousin and friend was diagnosed with lung cancer at just 14 years old. After being in remission for almost 3 years, he was then diagnosed with leukemia. The leukemia was caused by chemotherapy and radiation for the treatments for lung cancer, and he told us his chances of survival was a mere 2%. He beat those odds, and after a bone marrow transplant, severe graft versus host disease, aggressive chemotherapy, and a double hip replacement at just 21 years old, my cousin is now a survivor, but he still fights to live each and every day. And unfortunately, these tough battles are just some of the many each and every day in Canada. Childhood cancers can develop out of nowhere and with little known reasons. The average age for a child to be diagnosed is 6 years old, while an adult is 66. Many people believe that children do not get sick, when in reality, each year in Canada, there are 1,500 children diagnosed with cancer and an estimated 10,000 currently on treatment. Cancer is the #1 disease killer of our children, more than AIDS, diabetes, congenital abnormalities, asthma, and cystic fibrosis combined. Because cancer is a rare occurrence in children, when symptoms arise, it is not the first thing a parent will think of or a doctor will look for, and due to that, over 80% of children at diagnosis will have advanced spreading. Almost 1 in 4 will not survive, and of these survivors, 3 of 5 will be diagnosed with a secondary cancer, chronic illness, or life-threatening disease before they reach adulthood. 1 in 3 will relapse with their disease, drastically changing their prognosis. And along with secondary cancers, treatments such as chemotherapy and radiation leave over half these children with long-term effects such as a weak heart, kidney failure, lung damage, and weak bones. However, the world of childhood cancer is not all sad. Survival rates have significantly risen over the past 20 years. It is now estimated that 70% of children will be long-term survivors, and most of these considered cured. In the 1950s, this number was less than 10%. And support from the Canadian Cancer Society and events such as the Relay for Life allow these numbers to grow. In March, the Society announced results from a research study which identified the mutated gene in medulloblastoma, the most common form of childhood brain cancer. This also happens to be the very same cancer that many of you are here relaying for in support of Taylor Corkum. Along with researching what causes these cancers, they are also facing on the long-term side effects of survivors, which, as mentioned earlier, can be life-threatening. With little known reasons that these childhood cancers appear, research is limited and because of this funding restricted. We need to give these children the quality of life they deserve outside of a hospital. In order to do this, funding and research needs to be increased. Hundreds of potential years of life are lost each year, and we need a cure. Cancer is a devastating diagnosis for anyone at any age, but I cannot begin to describe the helpless feeling a parent gets when they are faced with the possibility that their child may never play sports again, may never graduate, may never even live long enough to go to school at all, let alone to get married and have children. Among the many sad times, I have now chosen to be as positive as possible because crying doesn't cure cancer. We now wake up each day with hope, and we try not to waste a day we have together. Instead, we focus on how much love Kaylee has brought into our lives instead of the days that may be ahead, as the world of childhood cancer is never certain. Last week marked the 1-year anniversary of my daughter Kaylee finishing her chemotherapy treatments. And I want to take the time to thank each and every one of you for coming out tonight and celebrating all the survivors, remembering those who we've all lost to cancer. And we are fighting back against this disease. I look forward to the day a cure is found in a world where no one, young or old, will ever have to fear a cancer diagnosis for themselves or their family members and friends. This last quote is one that has stuck with me throughout our journey into the pediatric cancer world, and I think it states the battle perfectly. Children with cancer are like candles in the wind who accept the possibility that they are in danger of being extinguished by a gust of wind from nowhere, and yet as they flicker and dance to remain alive, their brilliance challenges the darkness and dazzles those of us who watch their light. The strength and bravery that these children have shown me has taught many things about life. You never take your time for granted and appreciate those who are with you today so that they know you cared tomorrow. You're never too busy to spend time with your children and loved ones. This is Kaylee, and I relay for my personal hero and all those like her who fight for their lives every day as mega doses of poison run through their veins. Her, along with Taylor and all the other warrior children battling this disease, are my reason and my inspiration for relaying here tonight. Thank you.